Ashley, thank you so much for joining this podcast episode. Really appreciate it. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, pleasure is mine. And I think I never interviewed anyone accountant in my podcast yet, so you'll be the first person, and which is like interesting, person with the numbers and everything like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, we wouldn't talk about that much about numbers, but we'll talk about like about your journey into business world, how you became accountant, and how you chose the path of your career. So if you can walk me through like how you got started, when you decided like you want to be accountant, is it like your from childhood you wanted to be someone like accountant, or is it your family, everyone encouraged you to be an accountant? Because if you come from like a Asian background, majority of people like you want to be accountant, you want to be doctor, lawyers, things like that. But I don't know like what background you come from.
Oh, that's so funny. I wish I could say it ran in the family, but it could not be more untrue. Um, so it's so exciting that I'm the first accountant to come on here because sometimes I feel like I go on podcasts and there are so many financial gurus out there.
Mm,
So I'm so excited for that. But so I grew up in a what I call a W-2 family. So my my parents had kind of different jobs. So my dad was in safety for manufacturing, and my mom worked in health and medical field. So very different. I found myself always just drawn to numbers, but I didn't really know what that meant until I just thought I was really good at math.
mm,
So I actually thought I was going to be a teacher because I love working with kids. I went to college and still thought I was going to be in education. And then I actually started getting in the classroom and realized I actually didn't like that aspect at all. So that became kind of an issue. Moved towards accounting in my early 20s, realized, okay, maybe this is why I liked math because numbers just make sense to me.
yeah.
I started working in corporate America, so big public accounting, and working in what I thought was a very exciting atmosphere. So think a cubicle. And I thought it meant, wow, I've really made it. I had little push pins and I would put little pictures of my family on the wall. And I just thought that meant I was a superstar because I had a cubicle wall that I could push pin pictures.
Mm,
And I thought I was making good money. I was working a lot of hours. So that just meant that I made it. And I just love doing the accounting part. But eventually, once I started a family, realized it was not sustainable to work all these hours, work in an office that really made you feel like you had to be there
yeah.
60 hours a week, especially during tax season. So eventually got to a point where I started working in the small business aspect. And then that's where I realized, wow, this is where my heart and soul is. The family kind of atmosphere, working with people, that's where it all kind of came together. The numbers and people, which led to me starting my business. I thought, oh, light bulb, that makes sense.
Yeah, so obviously you gone to the path and now you got started. So when someone is started is like a new to the business, there is so many obstacles there. It's not easy peasy so like you can scale the business or like people comes to you. So how did you grow your first year of business? Is it like a referral? Is it doing marketing? How you started off?
Yeah, that's a great question. A lot of people, I think there's a lot of different ways. For me, I had started my business while I was working. I did not have the large investors. I didn't have all this money packed away,
Mm,
ready to start a business because I had never planned to start it. It happened because I was at this point at my job that I was 30 years old and I thought, what's next? I didn't know I was going to be 30 at a top position in my career in accounting, and I wanted to know what was next. So I started my my company while I was working with zero investment. Just started. I got my LLC, and I started posting on social media. So very organically, for free. I didn't do ads. I just started consistently posting,
Yeah.
And then I started putting the word out. So a lot of people think when you start a business, you have to have a website, you have to have business cards, or you won't be taken seriously. Like all these little things that feel super important in the beginning. You have to have a logo. I didn't have any of that stuff. All I had was accounting knowledge and a Facebook. I didn't even have a LinkedIn in the beginning. I just had Facebook. I had Instagram, but I didn't even really know how to use it then.
Okay.
I just knew how to scroll.
Yeah.
So I am a millennial, but I'm my one of the worst millennials. I just know how to scroll, turn off and turn on. That's all I know how to do. So started posting consistently. I started networking with other business owners and just telling them what I did.
Mhm.
So then a couple of months into business, I started getting a few clients, smaller clients, and I was doing everything myself. And that became a little crazy because then I was back to working 60 hours a week
Yeah.
because I had my other job. So I got to a point where I started hiring, and it was a little soon to hire, but I realized I was getting burned out. So a couple of months in, I sent out 100 handwritten letters to local businesses, and I said, my name is Ashley. And at that point, I had created a little logo in Canva. I thought I was so tech savvy because I created something in
Yeah.
Canva and for free because I thought, okay, I can put something together in Canva. And sent out these letters and I said, my name is Ashley. Here's my company. You can call me your QuickBooks girl and let me know if you need some help. I hand wrote it all out, put it in a little pretty envelope to get their attention. And I just sent it out. And after that, I got just an overwhelming response. And that was really what started kicking things off because I put business cards inside because I did order business cards from
Right.
Vistaprint.
Yeah.
And that just started turning things over. After that, I joined a local networking group, a BNI, and things just started rolling in. So quickly after that, I had to put my notice in at my job and started hiring after that. And here we are today.
That's great. So obviously
Mhm.
you didn't have the resources and you became resourceful, finding a different way what other people are not doing. And I remember this is what we used to do, like a handwritten stuff. When I had a restaurant, we used to send out to like because we didn't build it from scratch. We just bought it, me and my brother brought it from a previous owner, the owner is to I work for, and we transfer over. So all his
Mm,
existing customers now coming back to his shop. So we thought like we write it down on a piece of paper, like a handwritten letter to them, and given the new menu and
yeah.
tell them like management been changed, and they come and
Mm,
try out like a new management, new chef, and everything
yeah.
like that. And we had like a tremendous response. Like sometime we send out like 50 of them. It's like a 25, 30 people are just coming because it's unusual because
Yep.
people don't expect it. People get like
Right.
typed up like a letter or like someone is
Yeah.
like sending out a bulk. But when it's come like you
Right.
have a stamp on it, like a first class delivery, and they see like a
Yeah.
someone is genuinely care about them and they're sending out,
Hmm.
that builds a good relationship. Especially for you guys,
Right.
like that makes it more personal because it's a B2B
Yeah.
and makes it so much
Hmm.
better. But a lot of times, like we
Right.
tend to focus on like a tech ways, like we're gonna build it through like our social media, digital marketing, paid
Hmm.
advertisement, and we often forget about like a traditional way we can do that because now it's less competition
Yeah.
right now because everyone's sending all of
Hmm.
them cold DMs on Facebook,
Hmm.
Instagram, LinkedIn, but not many are
Right.
doing it like sending out them letters. So right
Right.
now you guys in a position like where is business is stable, like where you wanna be. So in terms of like obviously there is a lot of things to you had to juggle through because you had a full-time job, so you're building a business, you hired people in.
Hmm.
You know then the risk you took, like hiring someone, like how do you go about that? Like if someone is like on their business and they are getting overwhelmed and they cannot scale because they don't have any like resources, like as their employee, like we can delegate the task and they just holding on to their money, like how much they're making. They believe like if they hire someone, this is an expense rather than an investment. But when you actually did that, like what going through your mind, like I need to hire someone, I cannot do everything on my own.
Uh, it was a lot of terror because I thought in the beginning of course I was making money because I was doing everything myself. I had very low cost. Um, I the only cost I had at that point was my Google Workspace, and it was for the email. So if
Yeah.
I could have a professional looking email, it was maybe $10 a month. So all of that profit was coming right back to me. I had a few other software expenses, but I was profiting. But then when I hired someone, I kept thinking, okay, 2 steps forward, 4 steps back. At this point, I'm going to be zeroing out. But the thought process was, how am I ever going to love what I'm doing if I dread it every time I get home, open the computer,
Yeah.
and I put it off and I'm not going to be able to deliver good customer service if I can't give that deliverable back in a good amount of time. And that's what was happening. So I would work 40 plus hours a week at my job. And then I would come home and I would just dread doing the same thing for someone else. And I didn't want that client to feel the dread. And so I knew if I hired someone, not only was I providing an opportunity for someone else to make money, but they would come in with a joy, with a new attitude, and they would be able to deliver that customer service that I wanted to come through for that client.
Yeah.
And they did. They looked at it like this was their job. They had to get it done. They had a deadline. So delegating is the thing that can help you scale the fastest, because they will get it done faster than you will. And honestly, they did it better than I did because that was all they focused on. And
Mm.
really, when you're working in your business, I hear it all the time. When you're working in your business, not on your business, you can't see things from a different perspective. So
Yeah.
you don't see all of the inner working parts. So that was really it was scary. It was very scary thinking, all right, I'm going to have to take a few months where I'm not making any money. And if I didn't have that other job, I don't know if I would have done it the same way because it was a safety net,
Mm.
but having that safety net allowed me to make that decision where, okay, if I hire, now I can keep growing at a steady pace and provide a job for someone else. And that person was super invested. I got very lucky. She's my best friend. She's still with me today. She's my accounting manager now. But she was really invested. So she was saying, come on, girl, like let's get some more clients, like keep me busy. Let's get some more people in here. So she was excited for both of us to grow, and
Yeah.
she's still just as invested. So hiring sometimes before you're ready is one of the best decisions that you can make.
Yeah, I totally understand that. And I was like yourself, but I took some time, like a long time before I just started hiring people because I always came to my mind, like, because I have other illness problems, so I have ulcerative colitis. So I know, like, if I don't work and if I don't produce income for my employees, how am I going to pay for them? So that was like
Mm-hmm.
actually holding me back. So I had to wait for a quite long time before I started employing. But right
Yeah.
now, like, this is the best decision because right now, even though I feel ill or like, yeah, I cannot work for 3, 4 months, my business can be run
Right.
itself because I have the team
Yeah.
structure, software, everything intact. So we have like everything
Right.
in place. So yeah, I totally
Yeah.
agree on that.
Yeah.
Like you always have to take them kind of such a risk, and the rewards is like you
Yeah.
can see not immediately, but in a long time for you is much better.
Mm-hmm.
Short term, you're gonna lose out the money. Short term, you're gonna feel like
Right.
making you crazy. Some employees not gonna be like getting affected, and you have to find the
Right.
right one, isn't it? So yeah,
Right, right. It
trial and error.
also kind of gives you a little bit more motivation,
Yeah.
right? So when you're doing it for yourself, sometimes you give yourself a little more grace where you think, oh, well, that wasn't great, but I'm just going to try again. But when you
Mm,
have other people depending on you, now that I have multiple employees, there's almost a different kind of drive where every day I'm thinking, what am I doing to move the needle in my business so my employees can make more money, not
yeah.
just me. So my employees all have families. My employees, they're all moms. I have a team full of women that all are moms, that all are wives. What am I doing so they can make more money? So it makes me want to
Mm,
make more money for the business for them. It gives me a little bit of a different push,
yeah.
knowing that there are people depending on me now. So kind of a
Yeah,
positive in
totally
that
get that.
aspect.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
you're shifting the like instead of like a you want to make the money, and now shifting for like a them make money, so they come excited to the
Hmm.
workplace and they bring more value
Right.
for your customers or clients. So
Right.
yeah, actually, I'd love to know like what would be like your number one secret, or you say advice for someone like you can share with if someone wants to like have their dream business where they are waking up every Monday morning and feel like I cannot wait to go back to work. And with me, like I work 7 days. Even the Sunday, I work 1 hour when my baby
Hmm.
sleeps. We have like a 1 3-year-old child. So 8 p.m. I
Yeah.
do podcast. I talk to my clients sometimes if I need to. So because I enjoy it and I don't want to take it off, because if I take it off, I feel like hey, I don't know what to do about it. I'm not like a person like I wanna watch like a Netflix for hours in a Sunday and then next
Yeah.
morning I feel like a proper brain fog. I want to stay in the game all the time. So that's me,
Hmm.
and everyone could be different. So what
Yeah.
is your secret sauce or your secret or advice you can give to someone like they can thrive in their business or be happy when they do the process of work?
I used to think that the goal was working towards a balance. So I used to think I'm going to work towards finding a balance between work and home life. I used to think, man, I think the whole point of it all is work and home life balance. But the longer that I've been in this game, I realize that there's just no such thing. There's no such thing as balance because just like what you said, they all kind of mingle together. So I think the best secret sauce, the best thing that you can work towards is just finding what makes you happy. And if your business, if your family, whatever it is, makes you happy, lights you up, then do more of that. So for me, I also love working. I've found that working with people, working with clients, working with my employees does light me up. So I find the correct times in my life that light me up the most to do that. Being there for my kids also lights me up. Maybe not being the room mom or the snack mom, that doesn't light me up. I don't really enjoy it, but what does light me up is being there for baseball games or my kids are involved in everything. They're obnoxiously good at everything.
Mm.
Being there for the activities makes me happy. It drives me. So during the day, being there for my business lights me up. That's what I do. I'm good at it. That's when I show up. In the evenings, I'm kind of toasted. Like I'm an early bird. I'm not staying up late, but I can show up for my kids. So for me, that's the balance. That's where I can find the happiest of days. But for other people, it's different. So I think just kind of finding what the balance is for you, and it's different for everybody. So I think just doing more of what makes you happy and how it looks for you and finding that.
That's great. Thank you so much for the advice. So, Ashley,
Mhm.
we're nearly coming to the end of this podcast. It's been a great pleasure having you at the show. So, those who's listening, if anyone wants to learn more about yourself, your business, where's the best place to find you?
Yeah, so we show up on Facebook and Instagram. You can find us at Chamberlain and Good Company. We have a business page, but I love, love, love talking to people, conversation. Tell me about your business at Ashley Chamberlain. Um, there are so many different kinds of businesses out there, and I just love to know what people are doing. So send me a DM and let's talk.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing those.
Mhm.
So, I wish you best of luck with your business, your personal life. You have a wonderful year ahead. And thank you so much for coming to the show today.
Well, thank you so much.
Most welcome. So that's a wrap, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast episode with Ashley today. I hope you enjoyed our conversation. If anyone wants to learn more about her, you can visit our website or you can find her all social media platforms. So until then, talk to you next time. Take care.